We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2190. Today, Jill and I are talking about how to improve your land mailer response. Jill and I talked about this briefly right before the show, right before you turn the camera on. And what she really means by this topic is what to include or not include in your actual mailer, the piece of mail that you're creating that's going to go out to 8 or 9 or 10,000 people.
I'm getting them because the mail comes through our office, and then the pertinent stuff hits my desk. This is why it's important. And I'm looking at some of these offers that people are sending, and I get such a variety of offers. You better believe it, all the neutral letters, whether they're priced well or not. And it's some about the price, but it's even more important to me the physical thing I'm holding in my hands and what they put on it. So I'm going to talk about that. There's just things right away. I look at these and I go, who signs this? I don't even know who you are. And we'll talk about that.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, and we take a deep dive into a land-related topic by popular request.
Okay, Jordan wrote, "Hey everyone, I just took my first land call, which was exciting. It made everything feel real and serious. The caller was incredibly kind, even though she was reaching out to let me know she no longer owns the property. She and her late husband sold it back in 2023. I double-checked with the county records and confirmed the sale, but I was curious why she still received a letter from us. So I went back to the source, which was DataTree, and saw that she's still listed as the owner there. Has anyone else run into this before? I know DataTree typically updates ownership regularly, so I'm wondering if this was just a fluke or if some counties are hit and miss with updates. Also, is there any way to notify DataTree that their info is outdated? Appreciate any insight. Thanks." I'm sure you saw my response.
I did not.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh. So here's the thing. We don't know what county it is. So let me start with this. When documents come in and they're recorded and you get a date and a stamp and all that good stuff on it and sent back to you, it's in their possession. Next it goes to the treasurer. They approve it all. Or that's the treasurer. Yeah, it is a treasurer. They approve it all. It gets great. And then it gets into the database. Some counties are daily. Some counties are weekly. Some counties are monthly. And believe it or not, I have spoken to these people. Some counties are annually. In the back end, they've got it. It's done. It's there. But hey, they do it every year at the end of the year. It's like it all happens the last 2 weeks of December. I don't know who has to do that job, but I have talked to those counties that it's at the end of the year, they update all the records for the year at that one time. So it could be something as simple as that. Also, some of these counties, they're so remote that, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, but there could be a physical aggregator that has to go out
you're right.
and capture this stuff too. They don't really have databases. They still have books, believe it or not. They're not all a direct feed. Like LA County and Dallas County, all the big counties, right? Those are all direct feed. They're all automated. Everything's locked in. You can e-record a deed and all that. But some counties are still really small. And may only have one person in the office that, they help the sheriff and they're the recorder and then they're this and there's all these different hats that they wear. And so they're not automated. And so these companies like DataTree and CoreLogic, there's physical aggregators that have to go out and sit down. I don't remember if it's once a quarter, once a month. I don't remember. You probably remember, and they physically update the stuff on there. And so it could be something like that too. My whole point was it's not worth calling them.
DataTree,
they're phenomenal,
is one of 3 mainstream data aggregators nationwide. RealQuest is one, and they're kind of out of the business now.
They changed their name again too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm like.
And Black Knight is one.
Yeah.
So there's really 2 huge players in the game. They are what's called data aggregators. There's 3,144 counties that they have some form of an agreement with. And so that's all they are. DataTree is a data aggregator. They don't generate this data. And what Jill said is absolutely correct. Some of them are incredibly sophisticated, like Southern California, where all this stuff created in Irvine. That's where all these companies are located. Have like those counties themselves. All right, it's a direct real-time feed. And then, there's all kinds of other ways that they get data to them. But like I know specifically in South Dakota and in Arkansas, it's a manual input scenario once a year. And so you're not going to there's no real way that I know of to find out which is which. Mm-hmm. It's not where you can go on the data tree and say, how fresh is this data? There used to be a way to find out. And I'm not sure. I think it was with Black Knight.
Or one of the two before that we had. They would say when it was last refreshed. So,
but just know this, and they make it so pretty. Data tray makes the usability and your interface with that product so nice and simple that you just believe it's all real. And the fact is, some of it's antiquated.
Let me point out one more thing. Remember, this is Jordan's first phone call. In about 10 days, Jordan won't have time to even think about calling Data Tree.
I will tell you this.
He's going to be too busy working on deals.
Land doesn't change hands very often.
Yeah.
And so the chances of that happening on this mailer again are very slim. Houses change hands, like I think 20% of the houses in the entire country change hands every year. That's a huge number.
It really is.
So, and it just spells a huge opportunity for all of us.
True.
But land is a much smaller percentage. So the chances of you having issues with this is very slim.
True.
Today's topic, how to improve your land mailer response. Joe. This is like
hilarious. You're like,
do
you want to get a cup of coffee here for a minute?
Here's what happens in our house. Jill gets the mail first for our companies and for everything. She's the front lines. There's a lot of letters, not all the time. We own property all over the country. There's a lot of letters in there because they're LLCs that we own. So we get offers on them. And so she opens them, puts them in a neat little stack, gets done with the rest of the mail. Once a week this happens. And then every once in a while she comes over and says, can you freaking believe this? Look at this letter. Look at this letter. Look at this letter. These aren't Land Academy members. They're other people. And so we have a good laugh about it. Mm-hmm. So I said we should talk about it on the show.
Well, and
yes, I am going to have a cup of coffee now.
You could. So this is actually leading me to every month I do the Land Academy ladies group get together, and I'm preparing the content for the next month for May. I think it's going to be May. May most likely, could be June. I can't remember where we left off, but I'm preparing a whole presentation to go in depth for the ladies on this too and show them examples. But for right now today, I have 3 things that you need to do on every one of your mailers before they go out, and be aware of. Because like Jack said, I see them and I'm like, what the heck? So number 1, change your about you part. We do that now pretty much every time, unless I'm doing a mailer where it's like a 20,000 unit mailer and I'm sending 3,000 out at a time, right? But for that batch, whatever that product type is and wherever that location is, I might tweak the letter a little bit. Hey, maybe I'm hitting a bunch of farmers, I think, or maybe I'm hitting a bunch of commercial property. Maybe I'm going for another product type. So, and a lot of you in Land Academy are doing other product types. So I want you to not just go to O2O, download the template and run with it. I want you to make it yours. Even though there's things in there to put your name in there, I want you to make the about you. A little more like, how long have you been in business? If you've been doing this for 5 years, because a lot of you Land Academy people have been with us 5 and 10 years, I want you to put that in there. I am a 10-year land investor.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right? And little things like that, that's going to personalize it, let them know who you are, that kind of thing. And like I said, so change your page 1, explaining you and what you're doing for every batch and every property type. Number 2, please always put in there your website, your email, your phone number, your name. It cracks me up that people don't have this stuff. I am getting single page letters in the mail from people to buy a property that we have, and their name is not even on it, and their email is like, we want your land at gmail.com. Well, who the heck is we want your land? And I have no other way to look them up. I would never do that. And I'm going to argue that they're not getting a good mail response, and I feel bad for them because the planet's going, why would I sign this? I don't even know who you are, and your name's not on here. Do you have a real company? It's just a Gmail account. Well, this sounds like a scam. Like you're gonna want me to write down my, sign something with my phone number and whatever on it to who? No way. So make sure you have all that. And I want you to have a real website with a real email. It doesn't cost that much, everyone. For under $500, you can go and buy a website and get somebody to build it out with a couple landing page, a landing page and a little bit about us page and a cute photograph of you. I'm not kidding. That'll cover you for a year because you can buy a website for $10, and have it hosted on GoDaddy. So have that. And then you want an email that's, support or your name, bob@bobwantsyourland.com. Well, what's so funny?
I was just waiting.
Oh, okay. I thought you were joking. You're making a joke. So it needs to be kind of real. And then, so my thing was, don't use non-personal contact information or zero contact information. Just an email is not good enough. And then my third thing was, I really want to have a good mail response. It does also come down to pricing. Spend some time on that. Make it count. And right now, go for it.
This, like many things, or many, let's call them speed bumps on the way to success, is a sign of a personality issue. Mm. My dad had a saying when I was young. He said it to me a million times. I hated it. Now he was completely right. If it's worth doing, do it right. So think about a painter like Pablo Picasso or anybody, or Van Gogh, even better, with intricate strokes that take, a year to do a painting. This requires every element of this business, every element of every business requires a level of attention and detail that, think about a surgery. That is a surgeon, operating on somebody. That's the level of attention and detail that you need to put into this, because the person who opens that letter is already thinking about selling their land. Everybody is in this entire country thinking about selling stuff that they don't need right now. You cannot give them any reason to not pick up the phone. They're going to check you all out. Things have to tie. Your .com has to tie with your email address. Your phone number needs to work. Somebody needs to answer the phone. And if you're a Land Academy member, we harp on this stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, here we are 10 years later, and it's a big issue still. Mm-hmm. We still get letters that are sloppy. Stuff's not spelled right. There's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 fonts in there. The stuff's cockeyed on the letter. The printing is not right. And on and on and on. And that's the source of why Jill and I, look, we don't laugh about it. Why go 90% of the way? You need to go 100% of the way to make this mailer look incredibly professional, with the right typeface and font, and it's got to fit, and it needs to be that 2-page format that we have together.
Mm-hmm. And
just
take
it seriously.
Check your PDFs before they go out. Make sure it's right. So, the thing too, I was going to say, I take a step back too and even look at the mailer. I make sure it looks easy. I make sure that my phone number, my email, my website all jump out. And with telling them what to do, I've really massaged our letters. Like I have a little, if this all works for you, just sign it. I added a little sentence now, like all you need to do is sign it, send it back to me. And this is all I need to do to move forward and open escrow.
If you've ever owned property in that area, the more personal you make it, the higher percentage that someone's going to pick up the phone. If you say, we used to own a lot of property in the southeastern part of the state, not in your county, but the southeastern part of the state, we loved it. We didn't own it long enough. We shouldn't have sold it. So I'm writing you to see if you want to sell yours. We want to get back into Wyoming or whatever. Mm-hmm. People love that stuff.
We're a family-run business.
Yeah, that's great, Joe.
That's in our
That's
letter. Great. I'm very proud of our latest letter template. I just massaged it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Too. It's really good.
I mean, we don't, every time, Jill happens to be looking at this one for some reason.
It's important.
Usually
this
I do, but
yeah.
That's great because, the person who's going to answer the phone should be reviewing that.
Yeah.
Not the data ding-dong like me.
You are great at everything else, I promise.
Join us tomorrow where Jill and I are going to discuss how to apply the laws of supply and demand to the land business in general. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.